Hello there, everybody, and welcome to your weekly MTA Service Changes videos for the Queens Subways and for the Long Island Railroad for the weekend of June 22nd, 2018, and going until June 25th, 2018. So that's, of course, Friday, June 22nd, and lasting until, of course, Monday, June 25th. We have a lot of different subway changes we have to talk about first, and then some controversial issues with the Long Island Railroad. A little less controversial with one issue. Typical Port Washington stuff we need to talk about, and discrimination in Woodside. And I'll get into that and all of that in this video. So, first things first, there's good news for people in Astoria. N trains will be running this weekend. Yeah, it's very good news. The MTA has announced there will be no track work this weekend between Astoria Ditmars and Queensboro Plaza. So that means if you want to go to Kaufman this weekend, if you have not seen The Incredibles 2, or you want to see Jurassic World, good news. You will be able to get to the movie theater this weekend. So no buses. Yay! And more importantly, the Mets are playing at Citi Field this weekend. So this is another reason why the MTA had to accommodate people this weekend. So I completely forgot the Mets are at Citi Field this week. I forget who they're playing, but Matt Camper was telling me they will be at Citi Field this weekend. So that's why the Ends will be running this weekend. Unfortunately, we have to talk about the M train again. Yes, we got to talk about it. Beginning 8:15, June 22nd, M service will be ending early between the usual hotspots, Forest Hill, 71st Avenue, and Atlanta X6 due to electrical improvements. Please, I'm begging everyone, you have no choice. Take the R this weekend. You have no choice. The R will be running this weekend. R train service in Queens will not be affected at all. But I want to quickly mention our trains will not be going to Jamaica 179th Street. So, rail fanners, I know you want to go back to Bay Ridge again from Jamaica or, do something, but it's not going to happen this weekend. I'm sorry. But there will be some good news for some rail fanners. This is the same information I gave last weekend, so I'll just put it up quickly. My bad. So let me just leave this stuff up here first, because this is from last weekend. I don't need to get into it because I don't want to read this out loud, but I suggest if you're on your phone right now, please take a screenshot because it's a lot of stuff you need to get into right now. But the one thing that I like out of this is that there will be shuttle buses connecting at Court Square, 21st Street, Queensbridge, and Queensboro Plaza. So let's say, as an example, you need to get to Court Square, 23rd Street. Well, the good news is there will be a shuttle bus available this weekend. The best thing I can recommend going to Court Square this weekend, please take the 7 train. 7s will be running. That is the good news, but there is a minor change. But I figured to make everything less stressful, please just take the 7 to Court Square this weekend. If you need to go to Queens Plaza, please take the R train. I will recommend that. So again, just a quick service reminder. Court Square, 23rd Street, please take the 7, and Queensboro Plaza, take the R train. I definitely know the R train stops at Queensboro Plaza, so you can definitely get over there. That shouldn't be a problem. Because if you deal with the shuttle buses, you're gonna have a longer trip. Good news is E-trains will be running the Queensbridge, so if you need to get over to Queensbridge, you can take the E-train this weekend. It will be available. Quickly go to the F. F trains are going to be running local in both directions this weekend. And they'll be the same with the E. Yes. They'll be same with the E. So the E and the F will be running local this weekend. I just want to quickly mention that. But E trains will not be going to Queensboro Plaza. And I said this again. If you need service to Queensboro Plaza, please take the R train. And if you need service to Court Square, 23rd Street, please just take the 7. If you need to transfer, you have Jackson Heights, Roosevelt Avenue. So please, that's your transfer point this weekend. that's where you're going to want to go, of course. But I'm just going to quickly mention this service change that you will have local service. So if you want to, you have the M, just because the M is not running, doesn't mean that you're completely screwed on the local line. E and F trains will be picking up the slack. So please remember that. I know I didn't put that information in the slideshow, but I figured to make everything less easier, you're better off just taking the 7 going to Court Square, and you're better off just taking the R train going to Queens Plaza this weekend. I mean, why doesn't the MTA just simply put it that way? Instead of giving all this complicated information. Yeah, exactly. The only thing they left was that use the R train. I just said use the R train. Why do we need all this vocabulary? Come on. It makes me confused as a strap hanger, and it makes you confused as a strap hanger. So you have your options, just remember that. But unfortunately, the 7's going to have a minor headache. This is going to happen Saturday, June 23rd, and going until the 24th, which is Sunday. Westbound Hudson Yards trains will be running express from Willets Point to 74th Street Broadway due to track replacement. To access stations between 74th Street Broadway and Willets Point, go to 74th Street Broadway and take the next eastbound train to Flushing. So I'm going to quickly recommend that if you are impatient, like most New Yorkers are, and don't want to deal with this headache, I quickly want to recommend that timetables, the countdown clocks will be at the station. So I know it very well, so try to go to the end of the platform if you can. You will see the countdown clocks. But I also recommend, this is very important, I'm pretty sure all of the subway stations have Wi-Fi, but if you can connect to subway Wi-Fi on your browser, on your smartphone, type in subwaytime.mta.info. I recommend it if you want to know when the next eastbound train to Flushing will be, and you can make your trip along that. I just want to quickly mention that Andy Byford earlier this week announced that they will be repainting parts of the 7-line bridge between 82nd Street and 111th Street. So it's about time the MTA addresses that, but I still wish they would be regular weekend work on the 7, in my opinion. I'll just quickly mention that. Regular weekend work to fix the signals, because lately on weekdays the signals are just not doing their jobs, and Andy Byford needs to again look into the situation with the signals. And also the tracks could use some work too. I'm not saying track work's not important, but track work is important. That's why the westbound trains are going to be running express, because they have to shift the train onto the express track. So the track replacement is for the local track. And if you're not familiar with the 7, there is one side where it runs local, and I know this very well with 7 express trains. You're going to be directed onto the express track from the conductors this weekend. Thankfully, the local service eastbound to Flushing will not be impacted by this. So that's why I said, if you're coming from Flushing Main Street for some weird reason, or let's say you're going to be coming from the Met game this weekend, if you're at Willets Point, it'll just be easier to just, go take the eastbound train. So I'm communicating better than the MTA is, in my opinion. I'm sorry for saying that, but it's very important I make those points. So now we're done with the PowerPoint. Last thing we're going to get into is, of course, the Long Island Railroad. The first service change we have to talk about is, of course, the Friday service changes. We have these performing work on the signal systems for the East Side Access Project this weekend. Basically, you have all this information here, but the real problem I want to talk about is the discrimination. Temporary platforms will be in place from late Thursday, June 21st, until the wee hours of the early morning on Monday, June 25th. Eastbound customers will need to board exit from the first 4 cars. So basically, you're getting discriminated against the Woodside. 6 eastbound trains will be bypassing the Woodside station. So, yet again, it just proves that the MTA is clearly violating Title VI laws. And yet nobody cares about it. And remember, this isn't Philip Bing's fault. This is Patrick Nowakowski's fault. He's the one, all along, he's been the guy to blame for all of this. Remember, he put these service changes in effect long before he resigned. Philip Bing couldn't do anything about this. He's not going to get any control of the railroad, the whole complete control of it, until September 23rd. So we won't have to wait until then. Which stinks, but that's what I heard from the MTA. Now, there is some good news. He was able to override the cheese buses. Bustitution is coming back. But the good news is the coach buses from the MTA, they are being sent out. They are being sent out. So that's very good news. I'm very happy about that. So you have the substitution between Ronkonkoma and Hicksville. There's no more annoying school buses. She's gone. Matt Camper first broke this news on... Actually, yesterday. Yes, he was the first to break it from another source. So, that's the good news. So, if you want to try to take a look at not the cheese, excuse me. You want to take a look at the coach buses that will be sent out, I suggest try riding them this weekend for a change of pace. Hopefully, maybe they won't be discriminating against the LGBT community on the Ronkonkoma branch, who are possibly going to the Pride March on Sunday in the city. So we'll have to wait and see when Pine Power does his video this weekend out in Hicksville. So I suggest you check out Pine Power LI for coverage on that, hopefully. And then you have, of course, the PTC again on the Port Washington branch. I don't really need to get into it again because it's the same thing from last weekend, but you do have the PTC again between Woodside and Bayside. Very important. From what I heard, it looks like the PTC work will be done in July. So hopefully the PTC will be done. And hopefully, I'm wondering this question. Have they done any PTC on any other branch besides the Port Washington branch? Somebody should comment below if they have any information on that. But yeah, that's going to wrap up your weekend service changes video. A lot of different changes, especially if a lot of people on Friday. Again, I want to mention again, I will, of course, leave the following link. So I'll teach you how to get to it. Here's what we do. You're on the MTA's website. What you're going to do is, I'll do a quick tutorial, might as well. You're going to go on here, Plan Service Changes, and this is where the Long Island Railroad is. And you also have your Weekender. So your Weekender will tell you everything you need to know about the subways. If you're in a different borough and you're watching this, be very useful for you to, of course, do that. I also recommend please signing up for the email notification system. It's very useful. That's how my information, I get it out to you guys. So, yeah, that's it. Until next time, take care.